Hello, my name is Liam and welcome to Arcade Grenade. Today we're heading back to the Lilac system because I'm printing and painting one of the most iconic ships from my childhood, the Arwing from Star Fox 64. When I was a kid, all I wanted was a toy of an Arwing, and this is basically the grown-up version of that. This thing is pure Nintendo nostalgia. Polygonal, pointy, unnecessarily cool, and absolutely begging to sit on a shelf and barrel roll like it's straight out of 1997. So in this video, I'll be printing, painting, and hopefully turning this from a pile of plastic into something that Fox McCloud would happily take into a dogfight. Let's get into it. Right, let's have a look and see what we've got. So we've got the wings, the nose, tail, and then are they called G diffusers? I think they are called G diffusers. Yep. Insert iconic line here. And then we've got some decorations and bits. We've got the cockpit that we're gonna have to spray. We're gonna add some detail in here. I think we can make that look quite cool. So what I'm thinking the plan is we're gonna clean up all of these parts here. We're then gonna scribe some of the lines because there's some detail on it and it looks cool, but I don't think they're going to pop quite as much as I want them to. So we're going to scribe some of the lines. We're then going to give it a coat of primer. We're then going to give it a spray. I know I've printed these in the correct colors, but I'm going to spray it anyway because the blue's not quite there and because the white is a bit too white, if that makes sense. I'm going to age this. I'm going to make it look like it's a bit grubby, maybe more like this, how it's portrayed in Star Fox Adventures, which I know is a bit of a controversial opinion because no one really liked that game. But yeah, let's go ahead and get these bits tidied up. Something I have gone ahead and invested in since my last video. Last time we used a craft knife to remove the burrs. We've gone ahead and got a proper deburring tool, so let's give that a go. I'm really glad I spent all that money on a deburring tool when these just literally pop off like that. Anyway, never mind. Oh please, just one bit. Just please let me have one bit that warrants the use of the deburring tool. I was saying that. That was it. Awesome. Great purchase, Liam. Oh, I'll use it for a future video. Okay, here's all the bits that we're going to paint. Now, as I was saying, we're going to scribe in some panel lines. There are details on here. All I want to do is just make them a tiny bit more prominent, just to make them pop out a tiny bit more. Okay, that's looking good. Let's get all this over to the spray booth and get it primered. With our first coat of primer on, now what we're going to do is we're going to give it a little bit of a sanding because there's just one or two just little rough bits that the primer leaves behind, and obviously we want a really nice smooth finish for when we put our paint on. So to do that, we're going to need a bit of sandpaper and a little bit of water. This here is 1200 grit sandpaper, nice and smooth. We don't want to be removing too much plastic. We're literally just wanting to smooth off that primer. Dip it in a little bit of water. I know what we're going to do. We don't want to be putting too much pressure. We're just lightly buffing the surface of the primer. And you know that you're smoothing it off right when you look at the water that's coming off it and it's ever so slightly discolored. It just means it's just taking that top layer of primer and we're left with a nice smooth surface. If you feel an area that you haven't sanded yet, you can compare it. Like that feels really smooth, that feels really rough. So now comes the meticulous process of sanding every single little bit that we've painted. So if I were you, I'd stick some tunes on and lock in. Awesome, that's feeling much, much better, and that's gonna give us that smooth metallic look that we're gonna want when we finally print it. So I'm gonna go through the rest of the pieces. We're then gonna set them to one side to dry, because once they're dry, it's ready for the exciting bit. We're gonna paint. Okay, so here's the cockpit. I'm going to add a little bit of detail to this because I think it looks a bit bland, just being all black. What I'm toying with is adding like a tan wash. I want this to kind of look like brown leather, but I don't want to completely cover it. I still want the dark to come through. Obviously, we're going to paint the joystick, maybe this little screen here too. So the first thing I'm going to try is a oil wash on the seat. I'm thinking that's going to be the right way to go about this. Let's give it a go anyway. Oh, okay. No, it's kind of giving the effect that I wanted it to. I did want it a little bit lighter. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to see how it looks dry. And we could always go over it in something a little bit lighter. Yeah. Let's set that down. Leave that to dry. For the joystick, I'm going to use a little bit of gunmetal. Cool, so we've added a nice little bit of detail there. Okay, cool, so we're back. Right, I like how this looks. I like the darkness of it. I think it looks quite cool. What we're probably going to do is dry brush just a few more like highlights onto the edge of it, but in regards to the seat, I like the way it looks. I think a bit of Vallejo mud brown. Yeah, let's give that a go. That's better. Nice little bit more detail on the seat. Okay, cool. We're gonna hit it up now with some black metallic. Yeah, I think that's really nicely broken the colour up, actually. I'm really liking that. Pretty much where I want it to be. So something else that we need to add a little bit of colour detail into as well is these parts of the wing here, the G diffuser. I'm thinking a nice bright silver, just in these little fins here. Two nice looking G diffusers. Cool, let's let these dry. Well, it's time we actually put this thing together. So the first thing we need to do is take all these little pegs that come with the model. When in doubt, We'll worry about that crease later. I'll do something. I'll figure something out for that crease. So this is something that I really, really love about this model. It comes with these decals and stuff for the side. There's also the Star Fox logo and other various bits of detail that you can put in, which is really, really cool. Obviously you need a multicolor 3D printer to do it, but I mean, you could have a go at hand painting this yourself if you wanted to. I'm gonna put quite a generous amount of glue on there. And I can already hear the comment section going, you don't need that much glue, which no, you're probably right. I probably don't. But you know what? I'm gonna put it on anyway. That is already looking awesome. Now we're on to the wings. Some of these go in really, really easily, and some of them are such a tight fit. And luckily as well, just to make life a little bit easier, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but they're actually numbered as well. Just so we don't get the wings the wrong way around, because that'd be rather upsetting. So we need to gently, gently feed this over without splitting any parts, because that would be very annoying at this stage in the game. Oh, why do I feel like this is going to be delicate? Awesome. Yeah. I love the fact that the creator of this model's gone to the effort to just put like the extra plates of detail in. Like, you know, majority of people would just leave that all one color, but the color separation on it is pretty cool. Let's hope the next one goes on as easy, which it probably won't. Awesome. Those wings look so cool. And we just need to peg a piece on there. Probably should have done this before I put the rest of the wing together, but that's what you get for not reading the instructions that the creator of this model has very kindly provided, and I chose to ignore. Being a fool, I thought I knew better than the creator of the model, and I was like, when I was printing it, I was like, the orientation of the wings doesn't seem right. So what I'm going to do is just completely disregard the information that they've given me and reorientate the wings. That's not a silly thing to do at all, is it? That is quite a snug fit, but not quite snug enough. So we're just going to put a dab of glue. That's a good fit. Yeah. Same again. We're just going to put just a touch of glue just to help it along its way. That's really starting to take shape. That looks so cool. I can't get over how good this looks. All right, now comes the tricky bit. This is going to be fun. Getting these lined up, especially when there's a seam. I'm going to just cut the burrs off the, I don't know if you can see on camera, but there's just a slight burr on the edge of the pegs. I'm going to trim those down a little bit because that's going to make my life a hell of a lot easier. A smidgen of glue as well, just to help them on their way. Oh, that wasn't too bad actually. Yeah, that wasn't too bad at all. Wow! Oh, that is looking so cool. That is looking so cool. Okay, so obviously we're not quite done yet. There's still a few details and stuff to add in regards to these little decals and stuff. And then we were on about the canopy. The files, like the model that this comes with, it comes with a canopy, but it's printed, you can print it in PETG or translucent, PLA or whatever. And I thought that's gonna look a bit weird. And I wanted to really make it look like glass. So I've come up with this. What if we cut up a plastic bottle. I've got this old one lying about. It's still got olive oil in it. What if I can cut a piece of this out and bend it around the 3D printed one so it's the perfect shape, and then we're going to add a tiny bit of detail just so it really looks like a glass canopy. That's what we're going to try out first. It might work, it might not, but we're certainly going to give it a go. But before we do that, I'm going to stick the rest of these little decals on just to finish it off, and then we'll worry about the canopy. We can then start weathering this. I'm not going to go too crazy or over the top like I did with the Fusion Core. I just want to add a tiny little bit just to make some of the features pop on it a little bit. So again, we've got more multicolor printed parts. So this is the engine at the rear. You might remember there's the iconic scene at the beginning of Lilac Wars, or Star Fox 64, depending on where you live, where you can see the rear of the Arwing and the engine thrusting up. So we've got one of these. We've also got the little laser part at the front, and then there's the little arrow decal for the front, and then two Star Fox logos, which I need to paint a tiny bit, just the blue. Obviously it's the blue that we originally printed it in, and I was saying that I was going to change the color a little bit. So we're going to paint the blue to match the metallic blue of the G diffusers. And then apart from that, we're pretty much there. So I won't glue these on now. I'm going to glue the rest of them on, and then we'll paint these, and then glue them on, and then do the canopy. That's the order that we're going to do it. Very impressed with this model. Like, I know it's not even finished yet, but wow, that looks so cool. I'm just in awe of this. This kit is so cool. I'll put a link to the guy's model on screen and in the description. Yeah, this is cool. You should definitely go and check this out. They also do a Landmaster one, which I'm seriously considering doing, just so I've got the set. Awesome. That's looking mint. Right, let's move this out of the way. We'll paint the decals and get them glued in. Refer back to our handy Tamiya pot. They're so, yeah, they just make painting things so much easier. I know you can get proper model holders, but yeah. I know I forgot to put primer on. Do you know why I didn't put primer on? Because it's past midnight and no one bothers with primer at this time of day. So we'll let this dry, get it stuck in the model, and then we've got the canopy to make, and then we can weather it, and then it's done. Awesome. So that's all the decals on. While we're waiting for that glue to set, we're going to start on the canopy. So I mentioned earlier that the file comes with a PETG clear canopy, but I didn't want to do that. So what I've done, this is what would print out. I've just printed it in a basic color, purely because we're just going to use it as a guide for the shape. So I tried that original plastic bottle, but I cut it up off camera, but the material's just too thick and it looked a bit weird. So I've managed to find a thinner piece of plastic here. So I've cut a square in it. So what we will do is shape this and form it around there and then glue it into place. First thing we are going to do though, it's covered in greasy fingerprints. So let's give it a bit of a clean with some isopropyl alcohol, because we don't want any fingerprint marks underneath. So for that we're going to need some gloves. You know, stuff's getting serious when the rubber gloves come out. So if we have a pen and a steel rule, I'm thinking we can put folds in it and bend it. Come on there. And then what I'm thinking we can do let's try the other side. Cool, that's given us a nice little shape to work with. We can always clean that pen off later. I just want to see how it fits. That is not too bad. Maybe just got the angle a little bit too sharp, but I think that's gonna fit. So I guess the next thing is cut it out. I'll tell you what we'll do as well. We'll just use a tiny bit of double-sided tape just to hold it in place. This is gonna be difficult to peel off with gloves on, isn't it? That was a silly idea, Liam. Whilst we cut it. And you know full well that, I was gonna say, you know full well that now I actually want the tape to come off, I'm not gonna get it off. Awesome. Let's compare the two. That, yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with that. Now I guess it's time for the test fit. That's awesome. That looks great. Obviously it needs gluing in place. It's a bit fragile. But that, yeah, that completely finishes the look off. I'm so glad that we went to the effort of doing that. Before we glue this in place, we're gonna weather this and then we'll glue that in. And then that's it done. Let's do some weathering. To do that, we're gonna use these. The Tamiya Weathering Master. It's basically a makeup set for people that like building models. This is just I've only got the one set because I've never really had a need to use any other colors, but there's so many different shades out there, but the main ones that we're going to be using is the black. It does come with a little brush, but I don't personally use the brush to put it on. I use these, which are makeup applicator sponges, but they're really, really handy for just adding a little bit of weathering. So I guess the main areas we're going to be focusing on is just the sharp edges. I just want to break the color up a little bit and just make it less of a matte, like all one color. I don't think that this would be perfectly pristine clean if it was real. So let's just try adding a little bit to some of the edges. So to use these, all you do is you just wipe a little bit on and just gently smear it on like that. You don't want lots. It's literally just to highlight the ridge. That's the way I use them anyway. So we'll work our way around the edge of the wing, which you probably can't see that well on camera, but it'll show up more when we get to these ridges here. Just creating the illusion that it's just not one piece. It's made up of lots and lots of little segments, which I guess a real wing would be. Okay, so now we've got it applied. We're gonna flip it over and use the clean side. And it gives a bit of an illusion of depth. So then if you compare the weathered wing to the clean wing, it's just nicely broken the edges up. So we're going to repeat that on the other wing. I think that's looking so much better. So now we're going to take this over to the spray booth. We're going to give it a quick, just light misting of clear coat, and then we're going to glue the canopy on, and then it's finished. So let's go and have a look. So now we've finished our weathering and it's had a light misting of clear coat on it. The final thing to do is glue our canopy in place. So to glue this in place, we're going to be using some good old tacky glue. Around the edge of the model. Does that look okay? I think that's lined up pretty good. Awesome, let's leave that glue to go off, and then once it's dried, we'll take a final look at it. Cool. And last but not least, we're gonna 3D print an epic stand to go with this epic model. And here we have the finished Arwing. Look at how this looks. I absolutely love the way the plastic makes it look like a real glass canopy, and I am so glad that we went the extra mile with those little details in the cockpit. This build looks ace, and I cannot wait to put it on my shelf with the other models. And there we have it, one fully printed and painted Arwing from Star Fox 64. Honestly, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was great fun to build, great fun to paint, and it hits that exact part of my brain that makes me need to shout "do a barrel roll" every 5 minutes. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and pop a comment below of what retro gaming model you want me to make next. And of course, subscribe for more 3D printing, model making, retro gaming repairs, and just general nerdy chaos. I've been Liam, this has been Arcade Grenade, and I'll see you in the next one. Unnecessarily cool and absolutely begging to sit on a shelf and barrel roll.